Okay. So the last verse, 21st. Ai mai dina dayalutaya kripayaiva tvaya bhavitavyam ume. Ai jagato janani kripayasi yathasi tathanubhitasi rate. Yaduchitamatra bhavatyurari kuruta durutapamapa kurute. जय जय हे महिषासुर मर्दिनि रम्य कपर्दिनि शैलसुते. Okay. So what is the final verse here? We'll just break some of these words because some words are long, and again there is one word which is different in some versions. So ai mai dina dayalu taya kripayaiva kripa iva tvaya bayu bhavitavyam ume. Bhavitavya is a particular form in Sanskritam called uh, forget the name of the form. So Kailash ji or Raghu, you remember the form? Chiti, remember the form? It's when we say Karaniyam or Bhavitavyam, which means it has to happen, it must happen, it will happen. So it's a certain form in it's okay. So it's a certain form. I also forget, but it says that it will happen or it must happen. Bhavitavyam. हिंदी में हिंदी சொல்லனா होना चाहिए அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. It must happen. So bhavitavyam ume ai jagato janani kripayasi yathasi tatha tatha. So there are two ways of looking at tathanu mitasirate is what Mama read. Tathanu mitasirate. There's another version which is tatha anubhitasirate. Anubhiti means to be something that frightens, and anumita or mita means to scatter. So there are two different meanings, but both are differently used. I mean, when we look at the meaning, you'll see it can be used in either ways, the way we want to interpret this. Tathanu mitasirate or tathanu bhitasirate. Then yaduchita yad uchitam atra. Yaduchitam atra, whatever is appropriate there. Yad uchitam atra bhavatya urari. Bhavati urari uruta durutapa apakurute. So bhavati urari uruta durutapa apamakurute. Okay. So there are multiple words in that one particular word. So bhavati means yours or yours. Ururi means when something is it becomes very difficult to carry. Durutapa. Durutapa means again difficult. Tapa is the heat or the tapas. Apa ma kurute means to drive away or to remove. Okay. So these are the words. Ai mai dina dayalu taya kripayaiva tvaya bhavitavyam ume. Ai jagato janani kripayasi yathasi tatha anubhitasi rate. Yaduchitamatra bhavatyurari kuruta durutapamapa kurute. Jaya jaya he Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shailasute. So this last verse, the focus is given on how Devi uses her weapons or her arrows to create fear, annihilate, and scatter and destroy all the enemies. In the same way, may those arrows shower as grace upon me. Right? So the arrows that go out to annihilate or destroy all enemies. May those arrows come and shower upon me as grace. Okay. So this whole work that you see, it has made one full circle, because it started off with Devi killing or trying to destroy all the enemies or the asuras or negative tendencies. And then slowly, then we talk about the different aspects of Devi, her face, her eyes, her body, all of that. And then the different places where Devi is. And then again, when you're closing it, we are closing it with saying that in the way that you are fighting the war against enemies and destroying all of them, with the same fervor, shower that as grace upon me. Okay. So again, look at the first line. Just Ai mai dina dayalutaya kripayaiva tvaya bhavitavyam ume. So may your grace come upon me, O Uma, Ume, O Mother. The word Uma has many different meanings. Um, the one, so one of the meanings is she is the peaceful one, tranquil one, or peaceful one. One of the meanings is she is, so if you break the word as Uma, it's Ma. Ma means do not, right? So do not what? We are telling her, Uma, do not what? Do not cover, do not conceal, do not conceal Shiva. Do not conceal the truth, because in many ways, Uma or Shakti or Devi is the representation, or she is the um, she is the creative principles, which means all that you see here as creation is Uma, is Devi, right? In fact, even the Nama, so the whole Nama Rupa Jagat is Uma, is Devi. And when we pray to her for her grace, we are saying that remove that veil that is there, because she is creating that veil. She is the one who's creating the veil of Maya, or that veil of ignorance. So when she is creating it, you're going to her to say that remove it for me. Who can remove something which is there? The one who's brought it or put it there is the one who can remove it, right? Which is why we always go through the mother to the father. We always, this is usually it's a practice, right? We always tend to go to the mother, through the mother to the father. In fact, which is why even Vaishnava Sampradayam also, we go through Tayar, Pirati. We go through Tayar to Narayana. Right? And Tayar is also seen as one of the Acharyas, because through the Acharya we go to the feet of the Lord. Because only she can take you beyond this physical manifestation. Otherwise, you will remain stuck here. How much ever you keep calling out Narayana, if she does not grace you, you will not be able to come out of this. Because she has created this and you are inside this, we are inside this particular creation that we are experiencing right now. And if you want to touch that which is beyond the physical, she has to grace. She has to provide her permission. Excuse me. She has to give her permission. She has to be the one to lead us also. Right? Because otherwise there is no way. Mama Maya Duratyaya. Bhagavan Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. My Maya is Duratyaya, which means it is impossible to get over. But you can, if you hold on to Devi, or you worship Devi, or you request her, propitiate her, pray to her, then she can make it happen. Because our intention is what? We are saying, I'm here, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Jathare, Punarapi Janani, Jathare Shayanam. I'm constantly in the cycle of birth and death. I want to go outside this. I want to go outside this, but I don't want to be thrown out somewhere. Right? So if you're sitting in a carousel or a giant wheel, if you say, I want to go out, and you just step out, you'll fall off somewhere and you'll hurt yourself badly. Or if you don't tie up, if you're on a roller coaster, if you don't tie yourself properly, you'll get thrown off. So if you're going in this kind of a wheel or a chakra, Kala chakra, or this kind of a cycle of life and birth and death, if you want to get out of it, you want to get out of it gently. You want to get out of it in the most comfortable way so that it does not cause harm. You're not thrown out of it. You should come out of it, walk out of it gently. Which is why you request her grace so that she can help you cross over. So you're saying, Ai Mai Deena Dayalu Taya. Bestow your daya on this Deena, on this. I'm Deena. I'm Deena means I am poor. I'm poor in what? I'm poor in many ways. Forget material wealth. I'm poor in the way I worship you. I am poor in the way I have trust in you. I'm poor in the way I do my regular sadhana. I'm poor in the way I have my resolve, my resolution. I'm poor in all of these things. There is poverty. I'm rich in ego. I'm rich in identifying myself as this, that, and the other. I am rich in my desires. I'm rich in my ambitions. I'm rich in all of this, which makes me poor. I'm poor in compassion. I'm poor in kindness. I'm poor in love. So Deena. Deena means I'm poor. Oh, mother, I'm poor. I mean, I really don't know a lot of these things. Because I'm running behind other riches, which I consider them as riches, I remain poor in these things, which eventually is what is going to give me lasting happiness. The other things that I'm running behind is not bad. It's just that it's not going to give me lasting happiness. It's not going to give me continued joy. It is for a brief period of time. So I am Deena. So he is calling himself Deena to recognize the fact that even though I am praying to you, I recognize that I am not always thinking about you. I am not always worshipping you. I am not always exhibiting Daivi Sampatti or divine qualities. Right? You are the Dayalu. Oh mother, you are Dayalu. Dayalu Taya Kripaya Eva. With your Kripa, Tvaya Bhavitavyam me. I must get that grace, oh mother, your Kripa I must get. Ai Jagato Janani Kripayasi Yathasi Tathanubhitasi Rate. So shower your grace upon me in the way you're showering arrows on the enemies. Yathasi tathanu anubhita sirate means you are showering the arrows which are of frightening in nature. The arrows threaten and frighten the asuras, and they are driving them. I mean, essentially, a lot of times you would have seen in Mahabharata the way it is shown. Arjuna will take out his Gandiva and just keep his arrow. The enemies will, or the opponents will be scared. He wouldn't have even fired the arrow. He would have possibly just taken his Gandiva, and you will see the enemies being scared already. That is all it takes, because of his credibility, because they know that if Arjuna has got to shoot an arrow, definitely it's going to meet its mark. The same way, your arrows are frightening arrows. Means when the enemy see that mother is picking up the bow and lodging an arrow, just that sight is frightening. So the composer is bringing fright and grace together as a synonym. So there is fright, or there is annihilation that is happening with the arrows. But the author is saying, the composer is saying, how, with how much love for me, you are killing all the enemies. Sorry. In the same way, turn towards me and grace your shower of love, or shower your grace upon me, or shower your love upon me. With the same intensity that you're destroying, the same intensity, show that love towards me. So what is, there is a there is a there is a balance or a turning of intensity that's happening here, right? When you're intense about or intense to destroy, you must have intense compassion. Then the destruction is justified. See, a lot of times we also think in society, we think, I have been endowed by Bhagavan to go and do justice in the world. I should do this, that. I am a Ramaduta, I am Krishna Duta, I am Devi Duta, I am a messenger of God, I'm carrying the flag of this God or that God, and I am trying to go and do something, bringing justice in the world. If we are going with that intensity to create justice in the world, we should carry intense compassion for the world. Only then that action can be justified. A lot of times the motivation with which we are going is very skewed. That motivation is usually because you want to preserve a certain identity, because you're worried that identity will go away, or you feel threatened, or you feel insecure, or you feel some kind of injustice has been done to you. The cause to go and show intense action in the world is not driven by intense compassion. It is always driven by some kind of personal ulterior motive. And as long as that is there, the action will never be complete. Sorry. As long as that is there, you will see that that action will always end in some form of cyclical repercussion. It will cause angst in people, then they will take up to arms, and they will come back and they will want to take revenge, and the cycle will go on. Right? I don't know how many of you have seen this movie called Nan Kadavul. It was made by a director called Bala. Very interesting movie. In that, the actor, the main guy, he becomes an Aghori. And there are things said about Aghoris that they're always around the smashana, right? Wherever there is a cremation ground, that is where they do their sadhana. And what is also said is, by looking at somebody, they know if they are, what kind of person they are. So through their sadhana, they have gathered some kind of siddhis. So by looking at them, they know that what kind of person this is. And then if they feel this person is evil in many ways, they won't mind, um, they won't mind going and in the movie it's shown that they doesn't mind killing the person also, right? Now, of course, you don't see agoris going around killing people, right? But the idea there is, this agoris have this siddhi to recognize somebody. They are able to see someone and they're recognizing that this person is fundamentally is the person. What level of what gunas are dominant? Sattva guna, rajo guna, or tamo guna. What is dominant? They're able to perceive that. And the end, the movie goes, there is a girl who gets misused, and then there is a group of people who try to convert a lot of people into beggars and decapitate them in many ways and make them as beggars and try to earn out of them. And this girl also gets caught up in that racket. And at the end, the person who does all this gets killed. But then later, so this girl is she's completely abused, and she's into tatters. So she just goes to him, this Agori, and she seeks release because she's completely broken, right? And she feels, I mean, I have not done, there's nothing that I was put through this whole thing, and I think I've gone through too much of trauma. Put an end to this. So the Agori kills her. The movie ends that way. Right? Nan Kadavul. Sorry, I'm having a bad throat today. It rained here in Dubai. Can you believe it? It rained here for about 3 hours today. And the wind is very chill. So, yeah, so back to this. So in the movie, the Aghori kills this girl. Now, why does he do that? Is out of complete compassion. He doesn't even see the girl. He's looking, the whole movie, the way this character is shown is this Aghori is always in his intoxicated state. And out of compassion of this living being is going through so much suffering, he kills her, puts her agony to an end. Now, where does that action of killing arise from? It's arising from total compassion. And he's got no personal affiliation or this thing to the lady. He's got nothing to do with her, right? But he sees what she's going through, and at the end, it's not that he's seen what she has been going through. He's not seen that through the movie. At the end, when the girl comes and he recognizes it, he sees it, right? As I said, they have these siddhis to be able to see because they are not of the world. They don't want to be of the world. So they are in their own sadhana, their own thing. And a lot of agoris also attain to some siddhis. Many siddhis they attain. One of them is this: when they happen to look at somebody, they are able to know what they're going through and what they are. So this person at the end sees this and gives her relief. Now, why am I talking about the story is the same thing with Devi here. When she says there is intense, when we are saying, oh mother, with intensity you have showered your arrows, frightening arrows on the enemies, with the same intensity turn upon me and shower your grace. Which means, where does this intensity of showering arrows or frightening the asuras come from, or the enemies come from? It comes from this intensity of compassion, daya, kripa. It is from that she is even doing the action in the first place. So what does it show to us is also to see that when you are getting into action of some kind of intensity, see where it rises from. If it's rising from your personal motives of your self-preservation, of your identity, of your insecurities, of your what about me, mine. If it's rising from there, there is no way we can justify that action is a wholesome action. The action will be wholesome only when it is rising from a state of compassion from within us. And of course, we're not saying that compassion should always, that kind of compassion should lead to violent action on the outside. But any action for that matter should arise from compassion. Right? That compassion will arise. So when until that, all actions understand our actions are selfish in nature, egotistic in nature. It is incomplete in its execution. Because the action rests in the fulfillment of your own desire, fulfillment of your own anxieties, your own ambitions, your own identities. It is rising from there. It is not rising from a state of compassion. So saying, Ai jagato janani kripayasi yathasi tathanu bhitasi rate. And in the way that you as janani, as mother, in the way you are showering your arrows onto the asuras, in the same way, tathasi, in the same way, show your kripa on me. Then he goes to say, yaduchi tam atra, whatever is appropriate, bhavatyurari kuruta durutapamapa kurute, whatever you think is appropriate, O mother, to remove the tapa that I'm going through, the pain and the afflictions and the sorrows that I'm going through, which has become difficult for me to bear. Urari is difficult to bear. Remove that. Remove that. It has become very heavy. And yad uchitam atra. Yad uchitam, in whatever way you think is appropriate, O mother, you do it for me. You remove your pain. We need to see, are we ready to be able to tell mother, in whatever way you think is right, remove it, and then believe in it. Can we believe that the way mother has chosen for us and giving us whatever she's giving us as experiences are experiences that she finds it as uchitam? Right now, can I close my eyes and look at my life and say that everything that I have been given by mother is uchitam? She has found it as uchitam. She has found it as appropriate for me. Hence, she has given me this experience. And hence, so I have to look at my past, to look at it and say, yes, mother, with your grace, everything that I've received, good, bad, ugly, everything that I've received in this life is your grace. You have graced. If we acknowledge that, and then we go with the prayer to tell mother, yad uchitam atra, you do whatever you think is appropriate, then there will be some form of there'll be some form of magic that will occur. Or whatever occurs will appear like magical. Because where is this thing that is established that mother has to do the right or appropriate thing? It is in your judgment. If our judgment says that whatever has happened for me now has been unfair, unreasonable, absolutely not right, inaccurate, then we are wasting our time with doing all the worship, prayers, dhyana, japa, yantra, mantra, tantra, all of that. Because we are constantly judging that what I've received is inappropriate. And once you establish that in our head, then you go and pray. If you say that, okay, mother, until now, at least you have not done. Can you do it for me now? If you go like that, mother, you have not done anything for me. Iduvariki, you have not done anything properly for me. At least now can you start doing? Where do you think it will lead us? Because the issue is not so much about a mother sitting out there and doing all of this. It is about, like my guru would say, when you pray, if you know in your heart, in deep in your heart, my prayer has been answered. Because if you already think that, yes, this prayer is coming because she herself is sitting here, Mother Krishna is sitting here, and that question is rising from here, it is not that she or Narayana or Krishna, they don't know. They know the question is rising from here, or the desire or the ambition or the prayer is rising from the place where they are already sitting. And so when the prayer is rising from there and you've established and you say, yes, my prayer is being answered, but yet I feel like praying to you, O Mother. Because this prayer is rising from my heart and I want to pray that I want this. And I know you're sitting there and I know you are the one who's generating this prayer for me because you're wanting to help me satisfy my desires, my ambitions, my ego, my whatever. You are there and I know you're satisfying it and you are answering my prayers. Now, if this becomes a way of praying, then there is no dejection, there is no depression. We will never say to ourselves that Mother or Devi is not doing anything for me. The problem is a premise where we are starting itself is inaccurate. The premise where we are starting is we think that there is a divine power out there and it has to do my bidding. That is our starting premise. We say, "Oh Father in heaven, give me my daily bread." He is not your neighborhood baker who's going to come and give you your daily bread. What we are meaning by that is, oh Father in heaven, when I'm praying, it is an act of surrender. Since whatever you are giving is my daily bread. Whatever you are offering to me is my daily bread. I take it upon me as my daily bread. He'll say, oh Father in heaven, give me focaccia bread. Tomorrow give me multi-grain bread. My doctor has said I'm suffering from gluten issues. Give me gluten-free bread. So this is the way. It may seem like a joke, right? But look at our lives. This is the way we ask. This is the way we ask. We ask very, very specific, pointed, prescriptive things. And not noticing that the prayer where it is rising from, that Father in heaven is already sitting there. He or she or it is already present there. The ability for you to even ask that prayer is coming because of that power that is there within. So the idea is to recognize that and say that, yet I feel like praying. Because there is a joy in praying, there is a joy in communication, there is a joy in conversation. Why did even Ramana Maharshi want to be quiet for several years? Why didn't he go into some complete isolation where nobody can disturb him? He was still around people where people can come and check on him and all that, right? There are so many siddhas and munis who completely get lost into the jungles and are not even seen, not even known. Why even Ramana Maharshi was hanging around where people can locate him and then say, I am going to be quiet, right? Why did you, why did he intrigue or create that intrigue and mystery in people? And then they come and ask, Mauna Swami, why are you quiet? Can you tell me this? Can you tell me that? And then we'll be quiet. And then maybe he'll answer, maybe he'll not answer. Because there is a need to communicate. There is joy in communication. There is joy in correspondence. There is joy in exchange. There is joy in sharing. There is joy in there is just joy. So in praying also there must be joy. We should not go and pray that Shri Mata Shri Maharagni இப்படிலாம் பண்ணக்கூடாது. அடிய வேதனையோட எஞ்சிண்டு கூத்தாடிண்டு. We should not become the dina that he mentions here should not be a beggar kind of a dina. Oh, I am begging you, oh mother, please help me, please save my life, please. He'll say, oh, you like to do this acting very well. Oh, very nice. I'll make you a beggar then. Remember, there are mothers who do this. When the child cries for no reason, the mother will come and slap the child. Then I'll say, now you cry. At least I am satisfied that you're crying because I slapped you. So mothers are like that, right? They'll come. I've seen this one mommy when I was very young. The little girl will she'll chumma sit and she'll cry. The mother is like, what happened now? Why are you crying? Chumma, she'll be cranky. And then he'll be crying and she'll not let the mother mommy do what she wants to do. And then she'll come and give her two slaps and she say, now you go cry. Continue crying. So like that, mother will be like that. If you come and keep doing that to me, they say, okay, I'll give you two things. Now I'll at least feel happy that I've given you two difficult things to deal with. Now you cry, go. That is also out of compassion only. Why? Because we choose to cry. See, she is giving us a reason. So today now, if you don't have a reason to cry, you still keep crying, thinking that there is a reason. You're inventing reasons. Oh, I am so suffering, struggling, this thing, that thing. You're creating all of this mental drama. She'll give you two more things and I'll say, okay, now go. Because now you find some, so that you at least exhaust your need to cry. See, this is also important. She's doing it out of compassion. She's saying that it's like Rajnikant's father in that movie, Annamalai or Arnachalam. Which movie is that? I don't know. Arnachalam. He says the father, the son wanted to smoke cigarettes and the father caught him. And then the father then puts him into a room where he fills up the room with bidi and cigarettes. And he says, okay, now you go smoke your fill. And then he comes back and so Swami Shivananda has done a similar episode with one of his disciples. So the mother would do that. Say, okay, if your constitution has become that you want to beg and you want to keep asking and you want to cry and you want to, oh, give me that, give me this. So she'll put you through that so that you exhaust that need to do that. That poor me, there is something called as a poor me state of mind where we constantly creating that I am Pavam. So the point is, he's saying that when you are requesting mother, oh mother, with this intensity you are showering and you are helping me clear of all the enemies, with the same intensity shower your grace, which is nothing but killing all the enemies. It is inbuilt in your action of killing the enemies. Your grace upon me is built into that. Because of compassion on me, you're doing this, oh mother. Right? And then he's saying that remove this burden of sorrows that I'm carrying upon me. This burden of afflictions, pain, injuries, sorrow, desires I'm carrying. Please remove this, because it's become a burden upon me now. And yaduchitam atra. However you are finding it appropriate, O mother. Right? Because it's a very genuine prayer. If you think I should do this, okay, I will do this, no problem. But can you please take this off from me? No, that genuine, when you'll see this with people who work with you also, right? They will say that, see, I'm okay to do this, but if it's possible, can you relieve me of this? Can you release this? Can you help me do this? Help me. And then you feel that that person is genuine in his approach, his or her approach, to say that I'm not complaining. I'll go through whatever you think is right for me. But if it's possible, can you release me of this? For what? For what? So that I can think about you. I can put my mind in your presence. I can stay in the state of devotion in you. So that I become less of an asura. See, it doesn't take very long for us to be standing on the other side of Devi suddenly. We always want Devi to be on our side, but we don't know on whose side we are. Think about it, right? On whose side are we? we want we want the Almighty Devi, Bhagavan, Krishna, Narayana to be on my side. But am I on the side of sattva? Am I on the side of humility? Am I on the side of selflessness? Am I on the side of compassion? Am I on the side of kindness, love? But I hold on to lust, greed, anger, hatred, jealousy, all of that. Ambitions, desires, cutthroat. Doesn't matter what I do, I need to get what I want. I'm in that kind of a mode. And then I want Bhagavan to be on my side. Think about it. Who has to be on whose side is whose call? Bhagavan be on my side or I be on Bhagavan's side? I be on Bhagavan's side or should Bhagavan be on my side? It's something to think about, right? We always call upon the divine to be with us, thinking that we are absolutely perfect. What is the effort that we are putting to be on that side, on the side of sattva, on the side of daivi qualities, on the side of these qualities that we're talking about, karuna, compassion, daya, all of that, kindness, love? How much are we working towards being on that side? So as we work our way towards that, slowly we will realize, we'll find ourselves in the presence of the Lord. We are wanting to invoke the Lord where we are, not wanting to change. But if we start changing, we will realize the presence of the Lord is there here right now. We don't have to invoke it. The process of transforming ourselves, you will realize the Lord that you're trying to invoke is already present. So this whole work, we have to see it in that lens. Mahishasura Mardini, whenever we chant, we are at the close of the hour. Mahishasura Mardini, the chant when we do, remember we are seeking Mother to destroy all the negativities in me. And we are invoking Mother. And we are telling her, you do it the way you seem appropriate, O Mother. You feel appropriate in the way you feel appropriate, you do it. And give me the understanding to recognize that you are doing this in me. And let me surrender to you so that when these things are slowly cleansed of me, I feel your presence inside me. If we are not able to feel the presence inside us, it is not her problem, it is our problem. If we are not able to see beyond the veil, it is something that we have not done enough. We cannot go and tell, oh Mother, you are not unveiling. You are keeping the veil of ignorance on me. Those are all very childish ways of having that conversation with Mother. You can have those conversations that will not lead you anywhere. If you really want, if you are a spiritual sadhaka and you're really wanting to look behind the veil of ignorance and get to that knowledge and understanding, it has to be our effort. And understand all these tools are available. Mother has offered all of these tools in forms of devotion, in terms of meditation, in terms of dhyana, karma yoga, in terms of chanting, mantra, japa, homa. All of these tools are available. We have to adopt one or more continuously in our daily process, a daily sadhana. It is, as we've always spoken, this is not a pastime thing. This is not something that we just pass some time because it just feels nice. No. This feeling nice will just last for very little time. Last for just a year, 2 years, couple of years or whatever. It should, the puttunarchi is the word, right? Puttunarchi means every time it is pudu, it is new. The unarchi, the emotion, the joy, the devotion that comes, every time it should feel new. Every time it should feel like a lahari. Saundarya lahari is meaning that every time the wave never gets tired, right? The wave, when it comes up with the same exuberance and the fervor and vigor. And then it goes down. And again, next wave comes out with the same vigor and fervor, right? Every wave, a lahari is like that. So inside that joy, it should never be tiring. It should be, oh, I have done this 150 times. Oh, I have done this 1,000 times. No, next time do it as though you're doing it fresh. Mahishasura Mardini, the next time we are chanting, it's not, oh, chanted it from childhood, I've chanted 40 times, 50 times. No, next time new. Next time I'm chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, it's new, fresh. And when we do this every time we do this, then we realize slowly those asuras or enemies or negativities are slowly dissolving. Slowly dissolving. We have to tell ourselves that with every time Mother coming up, taking all the arrows and shooting it right away. She doesn't get tired of helping you. We get tired of calling her. Okay. So that's the Mahishasura Mardini shloka. And there are 21 verses here. So as I said, we'll just have a quick 1 minute look at what the verses were, and then we'll close. So it's describing Mother, describing how she is destroying the various asuras. Chanda, Munda, Shumba, Nishumba, etc. And how the wives of the enemies are also taking refuge in Mother. And then she continues to destroy all these different kinds of desires and ambition, or these continuous vasanas or impressions that are within us in terms of Dhumra Lochana, Rakta Bija. And then she destroys the Chaturanga, which means the whole formation of the enemy, so that new formations cannot come. Once you destroy a formation, then they're all scattered, right? The enemies get scattered. So, and then we say that she is dancing. She sees this as a dance, and she's dancing along with Shiva because she's Ardhanari. And it is about the mind and the appearance. So essentially, Nama Rupa. So how in the mind the form takes shape, and how the fighting also she does is she doesn't do it in a crude or a rude way. She does it as though when you deal with the jasmine flower, you deal with it in a gentle way. So her fighting is also gentle. She's frightening but gentle. Right? These are paradoxes that you can only see in such divine personalities. And then it talks about Devi herself, from whom all the kala emerge, kala, saundarya, power, how she is stainless, pure, and then her voice, sweet voice, and then her toenails, her feet. Then we talk about the Suratha and the Samadhi story of Devi Bhagavatam, how the devotion and how it can lead us into two ways: Samadhi or fulfillment of your desires, right? So one is you completely drop everything and you take to Samadhi. The other is you say, I want to fulfill all my desires. And then eventually you will get there, but then it's a long drawn process. So it's for one to decide which way to go. But Mother offers both. She gives you bhakti and mukti, bhukti and mukti, sorry, fulfillment of your desires and also liberation. It's for us to choose. And she is the abode of Lakshmi, Saraswati. We spoke about impurities last week, how she clears all kinds of impurities. We said even thought itself is an impurity within us, right? Klesha is a klesha, even the thought that comes, chitta vritti nirodha, that is samadhi yoga. So that thought that is rising is also an impurity. So how she helps dissolve that, and then finally she graces us with her grace, and we tell, in whatever form, O Mother, it suits you, you continue to bless me and give me, shower all that grace upon me in the way you would shower arrows on my enemies. So with that, we come to the close of Mahishasura Mardini. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Iti Samarpayami Sadashivaya Iti Samarpayami Jagadambikaya Iti Samarpayami Sadgurunathaya Iti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute. Hari Om. Thank you.